dad-like words can he say to them? What is he, Ozzy Osbourne, legendary drug-addled Prince of Darkness, the very founder of parent-freaking-out heavy metal music, going to do? Ozzy blinks a few times. Then, in a small voice, he says, "Well, try to be quiet, will you?" To the alert observer, these ironies can reach the height of absurdity. We see Everclear at Woodstock chanting the great rock and roll mantra.
All right, we got one rule. There are no f***ing rules. Have a good time.
And then just moments later, ordering people.
Okay, you guys got to back up now. Everybody back up. Back up!
I think I'll have you repeat it after me and get us all feeling f***ing good in here. So follow me, friends. We don't give a shit!
We have bands like Metallica embracing the darkness of nihilism and moral relativism. And making light of every kind of sin imaginable, including, ironically, shoplifting. And then getting worked up about people swapping their songs on Napster without paying them royalties.
You know what? Maybe I wouldn't have to whore myself out if the kids didn't steal my music. Hey, Metallica, so what?
We have MTV making light of both violence and rebellion against adults in one of their network bumpers. And then broadcasting a PSA against violence. Violence, it should be noted, that featured a person being beaten with a club. We have bands like Rage Against the Machine getting their audience to do what they tell them to do by chanting, even more surreal is their hardcore advocacy of Marxist socialism, all the while getting rich and enjoying the unparalleled liberties of the very free market economy they condemn. Like other rock artists from time to time, they raise some valid issues, particularly their condemnation of the way our two-party system has been co-opted by big money, special interest, and mushy middle politicians. But what is their alternative? To scream, F you, to advocate unbiblical economic systems that lead to poverty and the loss of freedom everywhere it's been tried? To smash TVs and squat atop a stage prop? What the world needs is a generation that can spread the light, not whine and curse the darkness. And finally, there's the absurdity of an industry that has gotten rich promoting sins that tear at the fabric of society, and then turns around and occasionally tries to raise both money and awareness in order to help fix the very problems that the immorality associated with the music helped create in the first place.
You don't have to say nothing. I know your body wants something.
R. Kelly, for example, has gotten rich singing about and promoting promiscuity, but was then lauded as a hero when he wrote a song to help fight, get this now, a largely promiscuity-based disease. And then there's Janet Jackson, an artist who's often honored as one of the good guys. Her involvement with Colin Powell's America's Promise Foundation was front and center during her Velvet Rope tour, with some of the proceeds going to help its efforts on behalf of the less fortunate.
Help become a mentor for a child. Help keep our kids off the street because they really do need us. Please.
But hold on. The facts are in. One of the greatest causes of poverty, poor self-esteem, and disease, the very problems the foundation is attempting to address, is sexual promiscuity and its inevitable byproducts. And what are Jackson's personal life, her music, the concert, and even the concert title filled with? Sexual innuendo, partial nudity, references to genital piercings, sex outside of marriage, bondage themes, etc. This level of cognitive dissonance shot through the roof during the production of her music video, If. Close to 80 pregnant 13 to 17-year-olds, or teens who'd recently had babies, were invited down by Jackson. And the video they saw made? You got it. A veritable training film for lust-driven sexuality. And deep down, Miss Jackson knew it. The article continued. There was one individual, though, who was discouraged from dropping by. Katherine Jackson, her mom. The one person that kept running through my head while I was writing these songs was my mother, Jackson says. I told her, some of my movements are very sexy. I'd be embarrassed if you were there. Well, she might have been able to hide her shame temporarily from her mom, but not from God, as Jesus noted when he declared, "You are those who justify yourselves before men, but God knows your hearts. For what is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of God." Number 3, rebellion is fundamentally occultic. We saw earlier that rebellion in God's sight is as the sin of witchcraft. God's wisdom in defining rebellion in this way makes perfect sense when one understands the basic difference between the Judeo-Christian cosmology and the one generally embraced by the occult and Eastern traditions. The difference can be summed up by contrasting two words: cosmos versus chaos. The Greek word cosmos, a word that is front and center throughout the New Testament as well as in the Greek translation of the Old, carries within it the suggestion of order and harmony. In a nutshell, the Bible presents a universe, a cosmos, created by God out of nothing and infused with a symmetry that literally, we now know, defies our comprehension in both its complexity and beauty. Guided by God's superintending hand, the pinnacle of this cosmos was and is this planet with its inhabitants. And it's here where an interesting distinction is made. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. Earth's initial formlessness or unfurnished state is quite different from the tailored order that the word cosmos suggests. But God wasn't done yet, as step by step the divine paradigm began to unfold. The Almighty spoke, and light divided darkness. Land came from the sea, life from inanimate matter, etc. The earth was beautifully furnished, and the stage set for the drama of human existence. After creating man in his own image, God took an area of land bounded by water and fashioned Eden, an incubator of sorts as well as a pattern for future expansion. This garden was adorned with everything man needed as he was prepared for the task at hand, to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. In other words, to make it all as ordered, as beautifully furnished as the garden paradise that was home. Well, most of us know what happened next. Man blew it, and paradise was lost. But that's not the end of the story. The Bible's essential message is the account of God's elaborate and awesomely sacrificial efforts to redeem mankind while remaining true to himself and his righteous standards of justice. And so, through the cross, we were ransomed from the penalty of sin and re-empowered, divinely enabled to get the original job done, to go into all the world and fill it with his glory, to disciple individuals and ultimately nations, to bring life from death, light to darkness, ever increasing order and harmony from the chaos of sin and destruction. The occult world, on the other hand, in this as well as in most everything else, seeks to reverse the divine order. Rather than God, chaos or emptiness is seen as the ultimate ground of being, and the material world is viewed as either illusory, Maya in the Hindu lexicon, or as in the Gnostic tradition, fallen from the true realm of the Spirit. Amid this quantum cloud of uncertainty, God and his will become either unknowable or subject to the whim